So my key top tips that I've been presenting about at the masterclass are all about how researchers can better take photos and videos when they're using their tablet. Subject, composition, lighting, camera angle, and captions. The first tip that I was giving was about knowing your subject. And this is just as simple as asking yourself a question before you press the button. Who or what is interesting in my photo? So once you know your subject, the next top tip is about the composition. And composition is something that we already do, but we probably just don't think about. So balancing the subject inside the photo is more or less known as composition. The best way that you can start thinking about the composition of your photos is using something called the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds is actually quite simple to think about. It's just 2 vertical and 2 horizontal lines that run through your photo. As you'll notice with these lines, there are 4 points that intersect between the lines, and they're great places that you probably should consider placing your subjects. The third top tip I was presenting about was lighting. And lighting is something that can be really difficult for people taking photos outside. So my advice when taking photos in really bright light is to try and move around so that you can adjust that light that instead of coming straight down, might come down on a slight angle. Another option that I always look for when taking photos outside is somewhere that's shaded, somewhere that's going to break that direct light and offer you soft side light coming in from the side. With different camera angles, you can say so many different things in your photos. So instead of taking a photo standing at your normal position, I'd ask people to take a photo from bird's eye view, which is taking a photo looking down on the subject. Another option is taking a photo from a child's position. So this is crouching down really low and turning your camera up onto people or the objects, looking up at them. And the third and final camera angle to consider is something called point of view. So for example, when taking a photo of people picking rice in a rice paddy, maybe you would lower yourself to the level of those also picking rice. Another important tip for people taking photos is also thinking about the caption you would add. It can just be a few sentences that answer these 4 key questions. Who's in the photo? What's happening? Where it is? And why it's relevant for the project. The final video tips that I was offering is to press focus on the screen, and that will allow that when you're holding your tablet, you can actually put the focus where you want it to go. When you're going to be uploading your video, you can't afford to have it too long. So before I start recording on my tablet, I ask myself what it is that I really want to capture. The final video tip I also offer is to make sure that you're stable. Being stable means standing or leaning against the wall or maybe against a tree, or having a stance that is well balanced so that you're not going to be bumpy or the video you take won't be shaky. To learn more about the top tips, visit agimpact.org/resources.